Okay, so it's Wednesday. Just like we did for addition, we're going to do the same thing for subtraction. Today is going to be a practice day. So go ahead and get out your homework. Let's check this. All right, here are your answers. Go ahead and check yours next to mine. Count how many got wrong and answer question 1 on the Google form. Okay, so today is just a practice day, so I'm going to do a real quick reteaching, and then we'll jump right into the worksheet. This worksheet, I have provided you with the answers, so your job is to, every one that you do, look at what the answer actually is. If you're getting it right, good job. If not, we got to figure out what you're doing wrong. Okay, so if you need to refer back to this video, which has all the procedures, match the one that you're, if you can't figure out why you're getting the wrong answer, match the one that you're doing to one like it's, likes in, like, let me see if I can get this out of my mouth. Match the one that you're currently doing to one that is in this video, and the video will tell you the procedure. Make sense? All right, so your homework will be another worksheet. It's on the bottom of the Google Forms. And yep, we're still doing subtracting integers. All right, just call subtraction is quantity. Okay, we went through a big long process to show you that subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. Okay, so in fact, that subtraction can still use the same rules of grouping. Well, that's the rules of addition. So our goal is to rewrite subtraction as addition, and then we simply follow the addition rules. As you get more proficient with this, you're actually not going to rewrite anything. You're just going to do the math in your head. But in order to get to where we can do this in our head, if you can do this in your head and you're getting them all right, drive on. But for most of us, we need to go through this process of actually doing the rewriting so that we have time to think about it. Secondly, I want you to, at least in your brain, talk yourself through the procedure. Since you're probably doing this by yourself anyway, go ahead and talk out loud. Use the same verbiage that I use when I walk you through the problems. So we said that subtraction is the same as adding the opposite, so we basically follow the addition rules. Well, just remember there are two rules for addition. There is the rule when you're adding two signs that are the same, either a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative. For instance, 4 plus 2, both 4 and 2 are positive, or negative 4 plus negative 2, where both the 4 and the 2 are both negative. So either the signs are the same or they're not. They're opposite or different from each other. So what would that look like? One would be positive, the second will be negative, or vice versa. For instance, 4 is positive, 2 is negative. 4 plus negative 2, or negative 4 plus 2. So the two rules for addition, we call them same signs or opposite or different signs. Okay, so if you don't already have this written down, right, please write this down again. The rules for the same sign: you take the absolute value of both numbers, add, and then use the original sign. If you're adding positives, the answer is positive. If you're adding negative, the answer is negative. For the opposite or different signs, the rule says you still take the absolute value of both numbers, then you do big minus small, and then lastly, you have to ask yourself, did I have more positive numbers or more negative numbers? In other words, referring back to the coin method, would we have had more positive coins or negative coins? Whichever one you had the most of is what the answer is. More positives, the answer is positive. More negative, the answer is negative. So how does this actually work? Remember, we don't have subtraction rules. We only have addition rules. So check it out. Each one of these, 7 minus 2, 3 minus 8, negative 4 minus 20. Each one of these three examples is subtraction. Our first step is to turn subtraction to addition. So we go to the minus sign, 7 minus 2. We get rid of the minus. We write that as addition, 7 plus, and we write the opposite of 2. Notice what I did. Now, obviously, I'm doing this with PowerPoint. I can make the minus sign go away. You need to either cover that up with your finger, your pencil. Just make sure that you write the opposite of 2, not negative 2. Well, the opposite of 2 is negative 2. So I turned 7 minus 2 into 7 plus negative 2. Okay? Now we look. Is that same or different signs? I got a positive and a negative. Those are different signs. The rule says absolute value of both numbers. then big minus small. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then ask yourselves, did we have more positives or more negative? Look, I'm looking at that 7 plus negative 2. Are there more positive coins or are there more negative coins? There's 7 positive coins, 2 negative coins. There's far more positives, so the answer is a positive 5. The middle one, we turn subtraction to addition. How do you do this? You either cover that up with your pencil or your finger, right? And then we write the opposite of that second number. Well, that second, if I cover up the minus sign, that second number is a positive 8, right? So the opposite of a positive 8 is a negative 8. Check it out. Positive 3, negative 8. Opposite or different signs. Big minus small. 8 minus 3 is 5. But this time, check it out. I got a positive 3, 3 positive coins, negative 8, 8 negative coins. There's way more negatives, which is why this one, the answer is negative. Is that starting to make sense? The last one, I don't get rid of both minus signs. I just get rid of the subtraction symbol. The first one says negative 4 minus 20, so I get rid of that middle minus sign. I rewrite it as addition, negative 4 plus. The opposite of 20 is negative 20. This time I have same signs. I got a negative 4 plus a negative 20. That means I add the two numbers. 4 plus 20 is 24. And since I was adding negatives, my answer is negative. Okay? All right, let's see if you can do this all by yourself. This is the next question on the Google Forms, question 2. Give me the 3 answers for box 3. How'd you do? All right, let's see. We'd always turn subtraction to addition, so 17 plus, the opposite of 10 is negative 10. That's different signs, big minus small. 17 minus 10 is 7. There's more positives than negatives. There's 17 positive coins, 10 negative coins, more positives. Middle one, 13 minus. I'm going to turn that to addition, 13 plus. The opposite of 18 is negative 18. Different signs again, positive 13, negative 18. That means big minus, I'm just reading what it says, big minus small. 18 minus 13 is 5. And check it out, I got more negatives than positive. Why? 13, there's 13 positive coins. 18, that's 18 negative coins. Way more negative coins, the answer is negative. Last one, negative 12 minus 18. I don't get rid of both minus signs, just that middle one. Turn it to addition. The opposite of 18 is negative 18. I've got the same signs, negative 12 and a negative 18. That means we add the two numbers. 12 plus 18 is 30. I was adding negative, so negative 30. All right, let's do some more challenging ones. Lots of negatives, lots of negatives. All right, the first one, 7 minus negative 2. 7 minus negative 2. I don't get rid of both minus signs. I get rid of the first one. 7 plus, the opposite of negative 2, is positive 2. Now look, I got the same signs. 7 plus 2. I don't need any rules to tell me that answer is 9. Middle one, 3 minus negative 8. I don't get rid of both minus signs, get rid of the first one. So that's 3 plus. The opposite of negative 8 is 8. 8 plus 3. If I do follow, I can follow the rules. Take the absolute value of both. That would be 3 and 8. Add. 3 plus 8 is 11. Use the original sign. I was originally adding a 3 and a positive 8, so that's positive 11. Last one. Negative 4 minus negative. This is most negatives you can have. Negative 4 minus negative 20. I don't get rid of the middle 2. I just get rid of that negative. Negative 4 plus, the opposite of negative 20 is 20. Hey, check it out. Negative 4, positive 20. Those are different signs, opposites. Opposite says you take the absolute value and you subtract, big minus small. 20 minus 4 is 16. We have more negatives or more positives. I got more positives, so positive 16. Feeling confident? All right, go ahead and do these 3. This is the next question, question 3 on the Google Forms. You think you got all 3 right? Let's see. 17 minus negative 10. Get rid of the first minus sign. So 17 plus. The opposite of negative 10 is positive 10. Hey, same sign. 17 and 10 are both positive. Just add them. 27. Middle one. 13 minus negative 18. Get rid of the first minus sign. Turn it to addition. 13 plus. The opposite of negative 18. Positive 18. Same signs, absolute value of both 13 and 18. Add them. 13 and 18 is 31. I'm adding positive values, so therefore the answer is positive. Last one. Negative 12 minus negative 18. Don't get rid of both minus signs, get rid of the first one. So negative 12 plus, the opposite of negative 18 is positive 18. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. All right. Negative 12 and a positive 18, those are different signs. So it says take the absolute value of both. That'd be 12 and 18. Do big minus small. 18 minus 12 is 6. Do we have more negatives or more positive? I got negative 12 and a positive 18. I got more positives, so positive 6. All right. So the ones that are the most challenging are the ones where everything are negative. So let's do 3 of those. All right. We don't get rid of both minus signs, just that first one, turn it to addition. Subtraction is the same as adding. The opposite of negative 2 is 2. Hey, those are different signs. Negative 7, positive 2. Do big minus small. 7 minus 2 is 5. This time I have more negatives. I got negative 7 and a positive 2, so way more negatives. Middle one. Subtraction is the same as adding. The opposite. The opposite of negative 8 is 8. Ooh, different signs. Big minus small. 8 minus 3 is 5, and I got more positives this time. Positive 8, negative 3. More positives. Last one. Negative 4 minus negative 20, negative 4 plus, because subtraction is the same as adding. The opposite of negative 20 is 20. Big minus small. 20 minus 4 is 16, and I got way more positives. I got 20 positive, 4 negatives. Okay, so therefore 16. Confident? Okay, do the last 3 and we're done. Go ahead, pause the video, answer the last question on the Google Forms, come back, check your answer. All right, let's see. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. So negative 17 plus negative 10, the opposite of negative 10 is positive 10. Different signs. Big minus small. 17 minus 10 is 7. More negatives than positives because it's negative 17, so negative 7. Middle one. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. The opposite of negative 18 is 18. Different signs. Big minus small. 18 minus 13 is 5. More positives than negatives, positive 5. And the last one. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. Opposite of negative 18 is 18. Different signs. Negative 12, positive 18. 18 minus 12 is 6. And let's see, I got more positives than negatives, so positive 6. There's your 3 answers. Okay, so my advice to you was tonight for homework, right? It's a worksheet. Do one problem at a time, look at the answers. Make sure you're getting them correctly. If you're not, you can rewind this video, see one that's very similar in setup, and then just see how I did it and talk yourself through it. Make sense? If you're really struggling, make sure you send me an email. And remember what I said when we started this chapter. It's going to take you a while to get used to dealing with adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Okay? So if you don't have this committed to memory, that's fine. Remember, you can always have a resource card. I generally see most pre-algebra kids, that means the math you take next year, most pre-algebra kids do fine, at least come Christmas time. So they usually need a solid first exposure in course 1 and then second exposure in course 2. But usually after Christmas, I don't have anyone having any issues with this. So don't panic if you're having to rely on a resource card or having to think this through or getting some incorrect. Trust me when I say you will get better at this. All right, so there's your homework. That'll conclude Wednesday's class. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Friday. Subtraction is taking from a larger group a certain quantity.